is Valley News Live at 6.
Good evening, everyone. We're following breaking news tonight on a house fire. Take a look at these pictures sent to us just moments ago. Cass County deputies say just before 4 this afternoon, multiple agencies were called to this fire in rural Fargo. Our reporter there on the scene says this is near Highway 81 and County Road 16. And as you can see, that house is surrounded by fire.
Now, those pictures that were sent in to us, the house has been ruled by fire officials as a total loss. We also just learned that one person has been taken to an area hospital with unknown injuries. We'll continue to bring you the latest on this story throughout the evening right here on Valley News Live and on valleynewslive.com.
And you know, there's that sign that says there's no horn, you know, but there is all the time, always has been.
A downtown Fargo woman says she's had enough, saying for nearly 3 years she wakes up in the middle of the night because of noisy trains, despite living in what's called a quiet zone.
So she contacted our whistleblower hotline. Valley News team's JC Dodd dug into the issue and explains why neighbors in the downtown area are still hearing train whistles.
Can't believe the horn last night. It was so loud.
That's a common greeting among Kathy Cummings and her neighbors here in the 400 building.
It wakes all of us up.
The building is on Broadway near the Empire Tavern.
I love it downtown. And there's some bad things about living downtown. The train is one of them.
On this map, you can see the downtown quiet zone applies to 4 intersections from Broadway to University. But less than a quarter mile down the tracks, the quiet zone ends. At this intersection on 7th Avenue North near Fargo Brewing Company. Cummings lives just over half a mile from where I'm standing right now. BNSF officials say trains are required to blow their whistles before crossing this intersection. And at night, when there's less downtown traffic noise and the temps get colder, that noise can travel further.
And I expect to hear the train. I don't expect to hear the whistle blowing all night.
As far as the no train horn sign in the quiet zone, officials say the zones were created to mitigate train horns, not eliminate them. City officials say they're in the process of expanding the quiet zone further west, covering that 7th Avenue intersection to quiet the train horns as more residential buildings go up in the area. City engineers say they hope the project will be completed by this time next year. If not, Cummings says the sign should be taken down, as she says they can be deceiving.
They blow that horn so loud at night, and it'll be all night long.
In downtown Fargo, JC Dodd, Valley News Live.
In the past year alone, there have been at least 6 train crashes in the valley, with 2 of those ending in fatalities.
Now take a look at this. This is what we're dealing with 2 years ago today. Plenty of snow in the Red River Valley. These pictures were taken 2 years ago today in West Fargo. Not bad today for the last day of November of 2021, but I hear tomorrow, the first day of December, could be one for the record books. Well, here's Nathan with details on what's happening on this Tuesday evening to start. Nathan?
Yeah, Mike, you're exactly right. I've heard some nervous high temperature records. They're quivering in their boots, not because of record cold, but record heat we could see possibly for tomorrow. But for tonight, I'm watching our Grand Forks Home of Economy Skycam. I'm watching for some snow showers to be moving into the Grand Forks metro area here in the not too distant future. Also in the Fargo-Moorhead metro, as we do have a clipper system making its way through. But right now, it looks like not seeing anything there on our Home of Economy Skycam. But our radar is showing just out of the city limits, seeing some of those snow showers there, both in Grand Forks and in Fargo. So in the not too distant future, as I said, maybe seeing some of those snow showers or rain showers beginning. Now in areas like Devil's Lake, where temperatures are right near freezing, maybe seeing some freezing rain in the Devil's Lake area. That pink line denotes that freezing rain line. So definitely a small line of that changeover from snow to rain, but could see some slippery spots on those roadways, especially in our northern counties where we're seeing some snowfall ongoing and some freezing rain there as well. But notice areas like Barnes County, Jamestown, mostly rainfall at this time. So even in Fargo, may see some brief snow showers, but a quick switch over to rain as temperatures are warm enough here in the metro. I've also been watching the road condition map. It looks like the best chance of seeing those slippery road conditions is in the Can-Do area up toward Rolla, where it has been mostly snowfall in those areas, and I do expect that trend to continue. Of the best chance of slippery roadways along and north of Highway 2 in North Dakota. Now tomorrow, as I was saying, hey, some nervous high temperature records. Look at this, the forecast in Fargo tomorrow, 53 degrees, but that record set back in 62 is 57 degrees. So if we get a stronger west wind bringing that warm air in here, and we could possibly tie that record in Fargo. Jamestown, a bit more of a stretch, 7 degree spread there from the forecast to the record, but Lisbon, We're forecasting 56. The record there is 58. So yes, a warm one, Mike and Stacy, after we have some wintry conditions possible for tonight. But we are tracking, it's December, so we are tracking the chances of some more snowfall and some colder temperatures after this. But of course, we'll break that down in detail in a few minutes.
Thanks, Nathan.
Yeah.
We now know the names of the people involved in a deadly crash on I-29 in Fargo yesterday afternoon. Authorities say 73-year-old Louise Jouer of Morton, North Dakota died. 72-year-old Clinton Jouer is listed in serious condition. The other driver involved, 22-year-old Taylor Hamish of Fargo, was not injured. The crash happened yesterday afternoon on the overpass near West Acres Mall. Investigators say the Jouers were pulled over on the side of the road standing next to their pickup truck when the SUV driven by Hamish hit their truck, striking them both.
A Dent, Minnesota man has been found dead in his home air duct. The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office got a call last night around 10 from the man's family, who told officers they hadn't been able to get a hold of him for a few days, so they went to check on him. When they got there, they found the man's body stuck in the air duct work of his house. The Sheriff's Office says the death appears to be an accident, but they're still investigating. The woman accused of stabbing 3 people, a man and 2 women, in downtown Fargo before barricading herself in a vehicle for hours is pleading guilty. Ashley Larson was originally charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault, but one of those charges has been dismissed. She's expected to be sentenced in January. The stabbings took place near the Mexican Village on May 13th. Authorities say a man was stabbed in an apartment building near Cat's Cradle, which is also near that restaurant. After that, investigators say Larson went to the restaurant and stabbed 2 strangers who were walking to their vehicle. She then barricaded herself inside that vehicle for nearly 4 hours before surrendering to police. Larson faces up to 5 years in prison.
The Omicron scare caused oil prices to dip from about $80 per barrel, the pandemic era high, to just over $67 per barrel. Now that dip representing the worst day since April last year, when prices dipped below zero. Today, the price rebounded about above the $70 mark. North Dakota officials are calling it an overreaction and are still optimistic about the industry's future.
But at the end of the day, we know we need to invest in and produce American energy, and ultimately the markets are going to do what markets do, and they're going to overreact, but they're going to hyper overreact when the supply is tight and demand continues to grow.
Ness also says the biggest challenge is not the pandemic, but rather the administration's moves that discourage investment in American energy.
Minnesota ranks 2nd in the nation for booster doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. Data compiled by the CDC shows Minnesota's booster numbers at 30%, trending significantly above the national average of 20%. Nearly 70% of Minnesotans eligible for the vaccine, 5 years old and up, have at least 1 shot, according to data from the state health department.
President Joe Biden was in Minnesota today, highlighting his $1 trillion infrastructure bill. He visited Dakota County Technical College in Roseville, which is a 2-year technical college that trains workers to build, operate, and maintain the infrastructure supported by the bipartisan infrastructure law. The White House says the law will create good-paying union jobs and lower prices by improving the supply chain infrastructure.
It's Giving Tuesday. How you can take part is still to come right here on Valley News Live at 6.
And in Fargo, of course, watching for a quick little shot of showers here in the metro, but then temperatures staying in those middle 30s for us tonight. West wind 10 to 15 miles per hour for this evening. Then in Grand Forks, also expecting a brief shot of snowfall there before temperatures slowly cool to the lower 30s. But warm weather on the way for tomorrow. We'll break it down for you next.